Breaking news, it's Halloween.
I'm the treat. You're the trick.
Welcome once again. It's Week 9 Gentleman Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rutka, and with me, Greg Kittle. No, Greg Kittle? Greg Kittle,
15 points.
With me, as he is every week, but this time live and in person, my buddy Robert Rushlow.
I'm in the box.
He's in the box. We're at the studio, both of us here, first time ever, and tonight's going to be a special night.
Cheers.
By the way, we're drinking BL's.
Yep.
Bush Lights.
Bush Light. It's a beautiful thing. When you hear an awkward pause, it's because we're drinking.
That's right. It's going to be sloppy. There might be some belches on the airwaves tonight.
Oh, I guarantee it.
But hey, how about them Packers?
Oh, man. You know, like it's like one of those things. I had a lot of thoughts about this. So, you know, like Steph Curry shoots from half court, you
Sure.
expect it to happen.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers throws a Hail Mary, you expect it to work.
That is true.
We were going to get the ball back with what? A minute and change?
Yeah, about minute 10, yeah.
Usually, you're like, oh, that's great. Rodgers will throw a touchdown in 45 seconds, look at the other team and go, keep the change, bitch, and walk off the field, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's just what we expect. But that's not what happened, Kyle.
That's not what happened.
No. Ty Montgomery, former Green Bay Packer, fumbled the damn kick return.
Yes, former Green Bay Packer fumbled the kick return. And, you know, when you fumble a kick return in a tie game with a minute left and you're told not to return it out of the end zone, guess what? Aaron Rodgers makes sure you get traded. The more you know.
Lesson learned. You'd think that lesson would have been learned, like, from past, like, think of all the games where somebody tragically messed up and then they were not Packers anymore.
You mean like your buddy Bostic who tried to catch a onside kick?
Ugh.
So you'd think people would be learning by now, right?
His name is a swear word. You don't even say his name. At least with Montgomery, like, he didn't ruin it in the playoffs.
Yes.
But, man, I mean, I'm glad Montgomery's gone. He was like the everything guy who wasn't great at anything. Like, they used him as a wideout, as a running back, as a kick returner, and he was mediocre at all of them. Christ, I was surprised they didn't have him throwing passes. Like, what did they see in him?
You know, I actually feel bad for him because I liked Ty Montgomery a lot. I thought he was one of those guys who put his head down. He did anything that was asked of him. He switched positions. He'd play all over the field. He'd return kicks. He never complained about anything, and from my understanding is he was really hurt that his teammates called him out on Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt he was versatile. Like, I get that, but I don't know. He just wasn't great at any position. You know, you can be a jack of all trades and just not be needed on a certain team. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think it bodes better for his career that he's playing for the Ravens now, actually. I really do.
Yeah, I think he's needed on the Ravens. I really think so. Because Alex Collins is a fantastic, you know, pass-catching back, whatever, but he's not fantastic at being the guy who puts his head down and just gets between the tackles.
And Montgomery does lots of different things, and I think everybody around the NFL says he's better than Buck Allen.
Yeah.
So, you know,
tough break. I mean, they might, you know, we both might be better off this way. Montgomery might have a better career. Packers will be better off. My boy Aaron Jones is free, as far as I could tell.
Free Aaron Jones.
He is free, so hopefully, you know, it all goes well. It was a tough loss. We could have beat the undefeated Rams. It was a game we expected to lose. Everybody can be honest there.
Yep.
And you know, I actually come out of that feeling really good. Like, the Packers almost took down the giant of the NFC. You know, we were within reach. We were within a drive of beating the best team in the NFC. So
Yeah, and I didn't see that happening at all. Yeah, I just didn't see it happening. I didn't
Completely
think
agreed.
they didn't think they had it in them. I didn't think they had the defense. The defense was terrible in the second half, but they did enough in the first half to make it happen.
Almost perfect in the first half. It was fantastic. It makes me feel really excited for this Patriots game now because now I'm like, okay, the Packers might be a contender. If we take down the Pats, I'm gonna leave next week feeling like we still have it.
Yeah. Hey, did you see Brady's quote
No.
about Aaron Rodgers? Because apparently Rodgers and Brady were both asked about each other, about their greatness.
Well, after the Jordan commercial, that was
Right.
neat.
So Tom Brady's quote is, "You guys should be happy that Aaron Rodgers doesn't play for the Patriots, because if he played for the Patriots in our system with Bill Belichick, he'd be throwing for 7,000 yards a year and have way more Super Bowls than we ever won."
Dude, that's the thing, right? And I'm not gonna discount Brady. Brady's done a great job at being like the Ty Montgomery guy. Right? He puts his head down, he grinds, he studies the system, he lives the system. He's a robot. He will do whatever it takes to grind out wins and succeed in the system he's in.
Yes, and take less money too, which Rodgers didn't do.
Right. That is awesome. But yeah, to his point, if Rodgers had the tools and the team and the coach, my God, and it's disappointing because it's my favorite team, and all I can think of when I sum up Rodgers' career is going to be wasted talent,
Yeah,
wasted opportunity.
and that's a scary prospect right there for a Packers fan, considering you had Favre, you had Rodgers,
And you have 2 Super Bowls only.
yeah, and especially because the back half of Favre's career, it was Favre just throwing Hail Marys and lobbing shit into triple coverage all the time and just getting frustrated with it. And now you have Rodgers, who never makes mistakes, but he's got nobody around him. And he's just... By the way, my new favorite thing on every Packers telecast, this is my new favorite thing. Every time they don't make a third down, the camera pans straight to Aaron Rodgers, and you get the obligatory Aaron Rodgers swearing...
Yep.
in his helmet, fuck this, fuck that, what the hell?
Well, he's clearly disappointed,
Yeah,
Pat, with the route that the receiver
clearly
run.
disappointed as he's swearing at someone.
You can see he expected him to do something else there, Troy.
Yeah, every third down drive, or every drive that ends at the end of, yeah, every drive that ends that's not a score is just Aaron Rodgers making faces and swearing at someone.
Well, you can't blame him. I mean, with our defense, I get that it's Pettin's first year and maybe it'll get better. But, with our defense right now, Rodgers knows he's got to put up 30, 35 points a game to win.
Yeah.
And when when a third down, a crucial down, any crucial play gets screwed up because of a failed route, that's got to be painful because he's like, that might be the game. I only get so many shots.
Oh, right.
So, I mean, he can take control of a game and win it, but he needs the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
we've gone on about the Packers too much.
Definitely too long. Here, let's talk about some. Let's recap some board bets, because we've been making board bets for a while here now. We had Sony Michel versus James White. Unfortunately, that one ended early for you.
This one disappoints me because it was getting really fun. There was like 2 weeks there where they were running neck and neck. They were both putting up numbers.
It was kind of insane. They were both back and forth, 20, 25 points, and everything was close.
Absolutely. I was really excited about that. Win or lose, it was a fun one that could have ran all the way till the end. And then Michelle got hurt. And he'll come back, but I feel like he's got some ground to make up.
Definitely.
But who knows, man? Man, I'm not giving up on the bet. I'll leave it out there. I'll get you.
Well, and, James White can get hurt too. So
right. So
that is another thing. But yeah, up until that, I believe it was like 5-point difference somewhere in that region.
It was close. They were exchanging big games. So that was kind of cool.
How about this bet you got with Luke Depre, Mahomes versus Rivers? That one you made at the draft. That may have been a mistake.
Oh, my. Okay. So if I took...
You should have picked his other quarterback, which, by the way, was the guy we were talking about at the beginning of the talk.
Well, here's the thing that helps me validate this bet. I put out a poll when I posted that board bet. And if you check the poll, I think it's like 3-1. People voted that Rivers was going to outplay Mahomes. So I don't feel that guilty. Most of the league seem to agree with me. And, of course, Like, I make a bet against one guy, one quarterback who wasn't a starter ever, and he turns out to be,
He's
the
like
Joe
the next,
Montana of
he's the next Brett Favre.
2018. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. But you know what? That's great. Good job, Luke. I applaud your pickup and your bet. I still feel great about Rivers. It wasn't a bad bet. Where I got Rivers in the draft, like he did exactly what I said he would do. Nearly 300 yards a game and multiple touchdowns every single week. He's a 20-plus point quarterback every week.
And to your credit, he's been a top 5 quarterback all year. He had a bye, so he's 7th right now. But he's been a top 5 quarterback all year. So I don't think you were wrong. It's just that Mahomes is having a record-breaking year. Mahomes has 252 points right now in our scoring system to Rivers 167. And 167 is actually like pretty close to the top of everyone else.
It's
Mahomes is far away above everybody else, which is pretty crazy.
Unbelievable, and it's nearly unprecedented what he's on pace for as far as fantasy scoring goes and things like that. So, hats off to Luke. Good pick, and I guess I won't be foolish enough to go against Mahomes in the future, but, whatever. That's cool.
Hey, this isn't a board bet, but it's something we just need to talk about. Because Travis's faith in Jameis Winston finally fucked him. Finally fucked him. He still got the win, unfortunately, but it finally fucked him.
Yeah, I mean, man, he got, 1.6, 1.8 out of Winston and still came away with the win, but it's what we've been saying. Winston
He's not a good quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. He's not a good quarterback.
Right. He can have big fantasy days, but he's been terrible. It's been proven. Fitzpatrick isn't, he's not great either. But he has the ability.
Actually been good this year.
He has the ability.
Been a good quarterback this year. Fitzmagic was back. You and I were both watching that game. It was crazy.
Yeah. No, this last week was incredible what he did. I mean, he has the ability to create big plays.
Yeah.
But when those big plays, when he goes up against a great secondary, he's kind of screwed because Fitzmagic lives and dies by the long ball. He's I got Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans, and I'm going to throw to them like crazy, and if that doesn't work, I'm going to get killed.
He's got the 2 right guys for that job, though.
Yes, that's the thing, is he does. He has the right wideouts. Those are the guys. Mike Evans is like a lesser Megatron. He'll figure it out every time.
I see.
But, yeah, I mean, appropriately so, Travis dropped him. So hopefully he's smart enough to play Cam moving forward and not bank on another waiver
Which
pickup.
we've been ragging on him for, 4 weeks now.
Which leads me to another board bet, the Cam Newton bet we made. Top 6 quarterback throughout the year.
Ah, yes.
He had another big week.
I don't know where he is. We didn't look that one up beforehand.
He had another big week last week, and this is what I was talking about. Cam, has had setbacks. He's had injuries, but normal Cam is a great quarterback, and that's why I was so frustrated that he was sitting on someone's bench, because he was a guy I wanted to target and draft this year. And Travis, he was sitting right next to me, and he drafted him right before I could get him, which actually led me to my Rivers pick. Cam was the only guy in the draft I wanted more than Rivers.
I've been burned by Cam before. I was not interested in Cam.
I understood the risk. But, in my attempt to get out of being that mediocre team that I end up being every year, and again this year, being Mr. Consistency doesn't help you in the playoffs. It'll get you to the playoffs, but like you see me every year, it'll get you beat. So I had to try something new, and I didn't get the shot with Cam.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Travis will fall in love with a new guy on waivers and he'll trade me Cam for something. So we'll figure something out. Maybe I'll package Rivers with something and get Cam off Travis's hands. I know he's listening, so.
Yeah, right. Maybe. Hey, let's talk one more board bet. Last week we had Zach on the pod. And we did a little 3-way. And we had me and him both picked Deshaun Jackson over Randall Cobb. You picked Cobb. Deshaun Jackson 13.2, Randall Cobb 4.
Yeah. I mean, this one, I don't feel that bad about this because Cobb actually had 4 receptions. Jackson had 3. I get it. Jackson's more of a long ball kind of threat.
But that's what Jackson does. It's big play or nothing.
Right. And Cobb is good for a big play here and there too. And in my mind, I just saw the narrative going a little different in the Rams game. I didn't think the Packers were going to run in the lead in that game. I thought we were going to be in desperation mode, throwing deep, throwing the kind of plays where Cobb can be diverse and make big plays.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what happened. We actually ran ahead of the Rams for most of the game, and that's
Yeah.
how we ended up. But yeah, that's why I made the bet. It looks lopsided on paper, but I had a theory behind it.
Right. And the biggest bet of the week, you and I both had Breeze.
Yeah, oh my God.
Lowe stuck to his guns and
And went with the best
And went with-
quarterback in fantasy football besides Pat Mahomes, Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch, please. Hey, and speaking of that, we're going to do something special this week. And we're going to kick it off right now. Since it's Halloween week, we are going trick-or-treating. We are making random phone calls to league members. And we're going to start that off with Lowe. So we're going to talk about Mitch Trubisky. So here we go.
Keep in mind, they don't see this coming, so. Do we leave a voicemail if he doesn't answer?
Fuck yeah. He's got a lot of rings.
How many rings
Your
does it
call has
take?
been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 9209011.
Doesn't even say, "Hey, this is Zach, leave a message."
Is not
What a
available.
jerk.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Zach, here was your chance to be on the pod.
Trick or treat.
You blew it. We'll talk to you later about your buddy Mitch Trubisky. Well, so much for that, huh?
Yeah.
That definitely.
probably-
That first one.
He's probably putting the kids to bed.
But the kid's freaking 9:30.
Oh, yeah. He's probably in bed. Who knows?
Oh, well, so much for that trick or treat. Let's try somebody else.
Looks like we got tricked on that one. Oh, man, I love this. It's nice actually being in the office, drinking beer, talking football. Like, usually I'm like huddled in a corner of my bedroom away from the wife and kids. Like, my tablet's up and my notes are up and I'm trying not to mess up on the phone. This is much easier. I might just do this every week.
All right, here's round 2. Let's try the next one.
Who do we got here? Ooh. None of our friends like us very much.
Yeah, it is 9:30.
What are they, 8?
I got kids, man.
You have reached mailbox
This is
number
ridiculous.
9208.
What the hell is wrong with our friends?
587.
They're all in bed.
Trick or treat.
Joey, trick or treat. You're on the pod right now. You could have been, at least. We're leaving you a voicemail.
Your hair sucks.
Go fuck yourself.
Give me a head with hair, long, beautiful hair, shining, gleaming, streaming, flaxen, waxing.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess we'll do the next one on the list. I can't wait till we strike out.
We're going to get somebody. We can't be the only two guys out there.
Oh, this is great.
Waiting for somebody to be sleeping. Be like, hello? You're on the pod.
Your call has been forwarded to an
Oh, I
automatic
think he hung up on us,
message
too.
system.
He bitch clicked you.
92029.
Maybe I should be calling these people. I don't think they like you.
Is not available. At the tone, please record your
At least
message.
everyone will know everyone's
When
phone
you have
numbers.
finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
Jason, you fucked up. You could have been on the pod right now, but now you're not.
Your team's terrible.
Boo.
I'm having fun anyway.
This is not working at all.
Anybody who didn't answer their phone, you're shamed. I know you're listening to the podcast. We shame you for not answering your league manager's calls. What if he wanted to give you Tyreek Hill right now because he was just hammered? We're going to pose a 5-minute trade with our best players to you, and then we're going to cancel them. Watch him accept them.
Hello?
Steve,
Trick or treat.
you're on the pod.
Oh, God.
Hey, quick question. Tyreek Hill for Amari Cooper, where'd you do it?
Yes.
Really?
Even if I made you throw in Melvin Gordon
No.
and Matt Ryan. How about
No.
James White? Would you do that too?
I sat here and told him you wouldn't trade Amari Cooper for anyone.
Well, you are clearly mistaking because he's a Cooper pooper.
Hey, he's with Dallas now. That's all over and done. You watch. He's going to have 20-plus
I don't know
points.
if I believe that.
We're going to call him Monday Night Cooper at the end of this week.
Monday Night Cooper. Huh?
Well, he plays on Monday against Tennessee. How can this go wrong?
Oh, it can go wrong.
Jason
It will
Garrett
go wrong.
has a plan. Jason Garrett always has a
no,
plan.
all he does is clap. He just claps all day. It's all
yeah,
he
that's
fucking
his
does.
plan. It's going to be awesome.
Jason Garrett's plan is to tell Dak Prescott to hand the ball off to Ezekiel Elliott. That's the way it always is. That's always been the plan.
You know what? If I was thrusted into being an NFL coach for the Dallas Cowboys right now, that would be my plan too.
Well, so we got one question for you here, Steve. Trick or treat? Do you have a trick or do you have a treat? And what is it for this week?
I've got neither. I wasn't prepared for this.
No tricks, no treats.
Talk to us about fantasy.
I
How
got
you
nothing.
feeling? You feeling good about your playoff odds? You feeling good about this week against Joby?
I feel good about this week against Joey, but I do not feel good about making a playoff run.
Hey,
Not with Ed sitting in front of me with undefeated.
Ooh, that is
8-0.
rough. You
Yeah,
need
but,
a wild card
you know,
slot, don't you?
Once you get past the top 2 or 3 teams, everybody's at 4-4 or 3-5. So I think
I know
everyone's basically
that's my only hope is because everybody else is kind of a meddling mess, and just like me. So there's that. But I'd feel a little bit better if I actually had a shot at winning the division.
Honestly, this year, and it hasn't been this way for a few years, but I think 6 wins could get anyone in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Really, it would. I mean, Christ, we have what, 3 or 4 teams at 3-5 right now. Like, it's rough. Ed is steamrolling everybody and making everything lopsided. Of all people.
But anyway, thanks for talking, Steve. We got to run because we got a bunch more phone calls to make. But thank you for being the first guy to
You're running
actually
down the
answer.
entire league, or what?
We're running down as many as we can, and we're 3 in, and you were the 4th one. And you're the first person to actually answer.
4.
Yes.
We're 3 and 1.
That's bonus points.
So you're the winner here, Steve. Congratulations.
Excellent.
We'll give you two points. We'll use our league manager skills and give you 2 bonus points this week.
Oh, hey,
Trick or treat.
before you go, fish bowl tonight or
Yes.
tomorrow night. Are you available?
I probably can. I'll check with the wife.
Check with the wife. I'll talk to you
I'll
tomorrow.
be available. I don't know if she'll be available.
Oh, we'll talk to the wife. Let's see if we can make it happen tomorrow. All right.
Okay, we
All right.
will make this happen.
All right. Peace out, Steve.
Love you.
Okay, bye.
All right. So finally, we got someone.
There we go. We're 1 and 3. Just like Chops was at the beginning of the season. No, he was 0 and 4.
Speaking of Chops, I think he's at work, and we're gonna call him now, anyways.
Yeah.
Just so
Just to rub it in that he's done.
that he's
for.
at work.
That too.
What is his record right now?
1 and
No.
He only won like 1 game, right? He won 1 game.
Oh, he is 1-7.
Hello.
Trick or treat.
Shit, I thought you were at work.
I'm on my way to. I'm at work. Why?
Oh shit, when do you got to punch in?
In like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, do you have 5 good minutes right now?
5 good minutes. Sure.
5 good minutes because you're on the pod.
Okay.
Yeah, we got him. You're only the second person to answer the
Yeah.
phone. We're 2 and 3.
Before you answered, we were 1 and 3, just like you started the season.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Krull, we got one question for you. Trick or treat? Is your team a trick or a treat?
Oh, fuck my team, bro.
Oh man, it's rough stuff. Hey, on the
Dude,
positive
this is-
side, it's late in the third quarter, and you have 0.7 points from Derek Carr.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, my God.
so, yeah, nightmares can be fantasies too, I guess.
Hey, do you think you're going to have a running back on your team that breaks the top 40 in rankings?
I don't know how good does Frank Gore look right now.
He's currently 37th, so you have a
And
chance.
he's your highest rated running back.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
oh, my
rough
God.
stuff.
This is a season to forget. I'll tell
Yeah,
you that.
you're from hell for you, right?
Hey, but LaShawn McCoy is at 43, so if he gets traded, there might be a chance.
And, you know,
They just,
he can't get traded. The trade deadline already
Never
happened.
mind. Yep, he's screwed.
Oh, well, we just had to check in with you for a moment. We're calling around the league here, and we figured we'd try to catch you before you clocked in for work.
Any thoughts
Yeah.
about this year? What do you got to say? What are your thoughts about the fantasy league, the season, your hopes to still make the playoffs? Anything at all?
well, I mean, my hopes are still decent with our division being absolute shit, but
Oh, right.
now that I'm 3 games back with like 6 games to go, I'm pretty much out. You definitely crossed me out now.
Hey, Fournette and Cook were upgraded to questionable. You might have a chance going into like
fantastic.
next week, maybe.
Fournette's questionable and he's on bye. That's how bad it is for him.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, give me some decency. Put these guys on IR so I can actually give up on these
Just get
people.
rid of him. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this has got to be like purgatory for you, hanging on to like 2 of your top 3 picks, or was that like your 1 and 2 pick?
Yeah, they were my 1 and 2 pick. Yeah.
Dude, that is
Hey.
terrible. I feel for you, man.
I am very happy I waffled on that trade because there was a minute there I almost pulled the trigger for that Cook and Dalton thing. If only one of
Yeah.
those guys wasn't on bye,
Yeah, you'd have been down Aaron Rodgers, wouldn't you?
it would have been bad.
Ooh.
All right, Krull, you have a good night at work. We'll catch you later.
Alrighty, see you guys.
Yep, bye. All right, 2 for 3. Or 2 and 3.
He's going to go to work all dejected. Just like, ugh. Carr really has 0.7 points. He doesn't, the starting quarterback for the freaking Raiders doesn't have a point in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's 31-3 right now. And if you're listening at home and we haven't called you yet, it's 9:36 p.m. on a Thursday.
Hey, I'd be up. There's no way he answers.
No, he doesn't answer. But he does call at the weirdest times.
If it was 4 a.m, he would answer.
Jason just sent me a text message. Damn it, I missed my 15 minutes of fame.
Hey, we can call him back. I don't care.
This is Luke's phone. Please
Oh,
leave
that's
me a
right.
message.
His wife does his voicemail?
At the
What?
tone, please
Is
record
that a
your
real
message.
thing?
When you
I
finish
forgot about it.
recording,
It's
you may
been like
hang
that
up
for like
or
10
press
years.
1
He does
for
not
more
know how to use
options.
voicemail.
Oh my
To leave
God,
a callback
he's like my
number, press
dad.
5.
You,
Hey,
what are you,
Debris.
like a 60-year-old man, Luke? You're on the podcast. Trick or treat.
Yeah, trick or treat. You could have been on the podcast, but I'm sure you're at work and you're way too busy to hang out with us morons from your fantasy league.
Your team is terrible. Love you.
Peace.
He's not. His team isn't terrible. He's 4 and 4. He's got Mahomes. Oh man.
Well, this is going all right now, huh?
Yeah, I'm having fun with it. What's the worst that can happen? Like normally, this is the period of time where we'd be doing like recaps and talking futures
And who wants to
stuff
hear
like
that?
Hey, spoiler alert! We're just gonna go ahead and say this right now while Kyle's working on who he's gonna call next. We're gonna go ahead and punch another ticket for the playoffs.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna go with Zach, otherwise known as Los, otherwise known as Manwich, otherwise known as Chupacabra. We're going to go ahead and punch his ticket to the playoffs. We feel like after beating Pope last week, his record and his team is good enough to go ahead and say he's going to be in. So congratulations, Los. We're punching your ticket,
Congrats,
buddy.
Los. Speaking of guys who've had their tickets punched, let's try another one right now.
Ooh. This one could be fun. Or he'll freak out and hang up on us.
Or he won't answer.
Hello?
You sleeping?
It's 9:30.
9:30. It's early, man.
Trick or treat.
Hey, you're on the podcast.
I'm on the podcast.
You're on the podcast. We wanted to talk about your ticket getting punched to the playoffs, buddy. Congratulations.
Well, thank you much.
Dude, you have a great team. I'm
Yeah.
really proud of you.
You should really thank Ted for that.
He'll get his money if he wins the championship.
Get his money. Well, we'll let you go back to bed. We just wanted some thoughts on the season from you. Any good thoughts here? Aside from the fact that you have a golden horseshoe up your ass and you've lucked out with every waiver pickup.
How did I luck out?
Connor? How could you have predicted Connor?
I didn't predict Connor. I predicted Mimmelmuff's not coming back.
Okay, I guess. And what about your buddy? Who's the guy from Indianapolis? Marlon Mack? Yeah.
Teddy drafted him.
Oh, that's right. You had both those guys.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're a freaking genius. Or, wait, no, you're not a genius.
No, Ted is.
Ted's a
let's
genius.
make sure Ted never gets in the
Let's
league.
invite him next year.
No.
Yeah, or let's not. Hey, you might win this week, bud, but you got me next week, and you're going down. I can't wait to hand you your first loss.
Somebody's got to do it. As long as it's before the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's a good point. You don't want to go in with that karma on you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go in 13-0. But I mean, I gotta say, I can't remember what the total numbers that me and Steve had for the full season, but the two of us had the two high scores. You got if you're not on pace, I think you're ahead of pace for a high score.
You're going to be a freaking League of Ordinary Gentlemen legend for the rest of time.
This could be your chance, and we're trying to jinx you right now.
Really bad. Yeah. We're cursing the crap out of you.
All right.
You screwed that up by not
How's
doing
that?
Your team rankings and stuff at the beginning of the season.
Oh, that's
You
right.
know what,
Did we not like Ed's team?
I thought Ted was trying to fuck you there, but I guess we were way wrong.
God, we're so bad at this. It's funny that we run this league and we do these podcasts. We're the two dumbest guys in our league.
But you ended up with the fact that you got Connor. You ended up with the number 1 draft pick, who is the number 1 running back, and then you ended up with basically the number 2 draft pick by picking up a guy on waivers before the season started, which is fucking awesome, just unbelievable. You have the number 1 and number 2 draft pick, and they are the number 1 and number 2 running back in the league.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that worked out pretty good.
Just a little bit.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to sleep. And we'll catch you later, Ed.
Yeah, catch you later.
All right, peace.
That was awesome. That's dedicated. He answers the phone sleeping and then gets blindsided by a podcast. And instead of hanging up on us, he actually talks it out. That was I give Ed 10 or 11 cool points in my cool points book for that.
I got an update from Los. He said we got 2 kids that are doing respite care and bedtime. What the fuck is respite care?
Respite care?
I don't know what that fucking means.
Isn't that like when somebody's going to die and you're...
It might be. He's killing his kids?
Isn't that what that is?
I don't know.
I thought
he comes up with the weirdest shit sometimes.
What is the thing where someone's going to die and you take care of them until they die?
I have no idea.
That can't be... Am I...
I mean, is this like a...
Did I miss something?
Like a Dr. Kevorkian thing?
Whoa.
Is that too far?
I don't know. Did this podcast just take a really dark turn?
I don't know either.
Your response should be like, well, come talk to us anyways.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we'll call him back. I'm calling Jason back because Jason replied, and he's like, shit, I missed your phone call. And I was like, we'll call you back.
Hey, how's it going, man?
You've been prompted. You're on the pod.
Trick or treat.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, and our question for you is trick or treat. Is your season a trick or a treat this year?
Oh, it's a damn treat, man.
Is it?
I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of this roller coaster.
What do you think about your odds right now? Because, hey, let's face it. Everyone is 4-4 or 3-5. You got a chance, even though you started out pretty rough.
Right?
I'm really liking that Luke picked up Raiders defense.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
I was like, oh shit, he doesn't have a defense. This is on bye, and I don't know who he's going to pick up. And I thought he was actually going to pick up Broncos, and when it was Raiders, I was like, ooh, this could be bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of liking this in the negative.
You know what?
And he
You
just
broke
missed a
my
field goal.
Hey,
you broke my streak. You broke my undefeated against everybody not named Ryan streak.
Yeah.
You
Right?
took me down
I know,
last
man.
week. I was heartbroken.
Hey, and I picked
I know.
you. I picked you, Jason. I had faith.
You jerk.
It's the beauty of fantasy football. One week
Yeah.
your all-stars just shit the bed, and
Yeah,
it's just
that's
perfect.
the truth. That's the truth. I didn't have Phillip Rivers, and Russell Wilson came through in a big way. He had himself a nice game.
Yeah, and that's the way he should
Right?
be playing every week.
Yeah,
Right?
If he had
That's
a
why I
line.
picked them up earlier.
true that. True
But
that.
you picked up Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I did. And you know what? I might have overspent, but I'm the same guy who dropped $8 for Graham Gano, and
At least he
it is
knows
what
it.
is.
that was the thing.
Robert really hit you hard on that one too. He was like, "Fucking $8 for Graham Gano. Come on, he's a kicker."
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
He put up 15 points last week against Rob. I can see why he's pissed.
Yeah.
Well, I said that before that, but what did I say? I said, "Watch, you'll have a 30-point game or
You
something
did
crazy."
say
like
that. You did say that.
I self-jinxed.
Uh,
Well, I mean, my point was like the most I would ever spend for a kicker was like the $3 I put on Greg Zuerlein, but that's because he's Legatron. He's kicking for the damn
Right.
Rams. I
Yeah.
didn't
Oh, yeah.
think there was a world that existed where you could justify a higher price. But when I really think about it, though, and this goes back to my Cam Newton thing, Graham Gano is probably the next best kicker I could think of moving forward because I'm loving
Yeah.
the
he's
Carolina
just as
offense right
reliable
now.
as Mason Crosby. He never misses.
Right, and he's playing for
Right?
he's playing for the Panthers though. I mean, he's going to get opportunity. I like that.
Right.
Yeah, they stall a lot.
Exactly.
Right. And to be honest, my bid started off at like $2, and then I started thinking like, gosh,
What if I don't get him?
wanna-
and that's what always screws
and
with
it
the
just
guy.
kept creeping up.
That's
I
the
always do that
paranoia.
same thing. I'm always like, man, it should be 11. No, wait. Someone's going to go 11 because they're like, we can't do 10. I got to do 11. So then you do 14, and you're like, fuck, someone might do 15. So I got to do 16.
Nice round number.
And
And
it
that's
just
the
keep-
weird
That's
paranoia
what
that
happens.
Luke probably goes through every day.
And that's why Luke bids $53 on a terrible running back
Yes,
every
and
year.
that's what leads him to spend $12 on DJ Moore.
Right.
I mean, you may have overspent on Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I am going to support you in this one because
Yeah, I'm sick of playing games with Flacco. It's like if I put him in, he sucks. If I bench him, he's an all-star. So I'm sick of playing
Right.
games with him. So I was like, get out of here, Flacco, and I'm picking up Fitzmagic.
I mean, I think they made a mistake by benching him for Winston. And Winston, even though
Yeah.
he kind of put up decent fantasy points the last few weeks, he's not a good real quarterback. And Fitzpatrick was winning them games. I don't understand why one good game killed him there.
I feel like most of America felt that way too. The thing was that they know Fitzpatrick isn't the future. Like
Who
he's
gives a
getting
shit?
old.
Neither is Jameis Winston.
Right, but that's the thing. Like it's the Vikings thing, right? They picked up Brett Favre, saying, "Well, we can win with Favre right now. We understand he's not the future, but if he's winning games, he needs to be our starter, and we can work on the future later."
It's the NFL. You don't need to plan for the future.
Right.
You just win games. And it's just how
Well,
it is.
Well, and Fitzpatrick can still throw, 3 picks in a game and still come out with 20-plus points.
Right, that's
So
the difference between him and Russell Wilson. Is Wilson has to have a great game to get over the 20-point mark.
Yeah, since he's got no offensive
Fitzpatrick,
line.
the way
he
he
gives
plays,
back 5 points a game in sacks.
right? Fitzpatrick,
Right,
the way
right.
that he plays, can stumble upon 20 points just playing the way he plays.
I
They don't
agree.
have a run
Yep.
game in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. All right,
Yep.
Jason, we got to go because we got to call more people. Any
Sounds
final
good, man.
thoughts? Any final thoughts?
I'm trying to debate if I want to change my team name to Fitzmagic and the Tantrums or
I
something
support
else.
that. I support that. Do it. Just do it.
I like
I
it.
knew you'd like that.
Yeah, nobody cares about Marquise Lee anymore.
Right, I know. He's old news. He was old news on draft day.
Fitzmagic and the Tantrums. Make it happen. All right,
Yep,
Jason.
I'm locking it in.
All right. Have a good night,
All right,
bud.
later, guys.
Bye.
You too.
All right.
That was fantastic.
You know, and really, if all the people left to call, I think we just have Travis.
Let's do it. Let's
do
make
it.
this magic happen.
Yeah, Travis is a wild motherfucker. I mean,
He's a good end. He's a good end to this.
I mean,
we
could
might
always-
just hang up on him at some point. Just be like, too much.
Shoot, I mean, we could call Los back too.
Nah. We'll talk to him in other podcasts.
All right.
We don't need to hear him gloss Trubisky any harder than he's already been glossed.
See, that's what I wanted to talk to him about. I just wanted to talk more Trubisky.
Nah, let's just rub it in Travis's face about Jameis.
I don't think he's going to answer. If I had to put money on it, I don't think he's answering.
Hello, you have reached Travis.
Oh, I thought-
I'm unable to come to the phone right now, so if you leave a message,
At least
I'll be
he
sure to
has
get
a
back to you as
personalized
soon as I can.
voicemail.
Thanks.
Hello.
Bye.
Hello.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Trick or treat.
Bag, you're on the podcast. At least you would have been if you would have answered. We just wanted to talk about your team and how we hate Jameis Winston and everybody else on your team, and we hate picking you.
But we both picked you.
We both picked you this week. All right, have a good one. We'll catch you later. I mean, that's it, unless you want to call Los back.
Nah, I think that's good. We're
Right,
going to
fuck
run
it.
way over time if we bring him in, and we got to make our picks yet.
All right, well, let's just run over some things. Hey, a bunch of trades happened. Demarius Thomas got traded. Ty Montgomery got traded. Amari Cooper and Golden Tate all got traded. If you had to take one guy, who's the guy who has the best year the rest of the way?
I kind of like Golden Tate in Philadelphia. Call it weird, but I feel like Carson Wentz getting a nice, stable, non-injury prone, Alshon Jeffrey type, but, a guy that's good for 9 catches a game, first down maker. Like, I feel like he's going to get a
He's
good
a
amount of
first
plays there.
down maker.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah, that's-
First down maker. Something like that.
Don't mess around with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's-
Give me Golden Tate out of that group. What about you?
I would take Kerryon Johnson.
Wait, he got traded?
No. I would take Kerryon Johnson because Tate got traded. That just means there's more balls to go around, which is good for your boy Marvin Jones.
So many balls. That was the thing, too. Like, Marvin Jones, can I rant about my waiver thing real quick?
Marvin Jones it up.
So here's the thing. You guys need to learn how to play waivers a little bit. I got Greg Olsen, my current starting tight end, for $1. I got Marvin Jones off waivers for $2. I got Greg Zuerlein, probably what's going to end up being the best kicker the rest of the way, for $3. Like, you guys got to look at what's going on. People overreact, and they drop people that they picked in the first, or not the first, but like the first 5 rounds. Like Marvin Jones, Greg Olsen, these guys went early for a reason.
Marvin Jones did not go early.
Unless they're on IR. What round did he go in? He
It
couldn't have gone that late.
In the last half of the draft, for sure.
No way.
Yes.
Well, either way, he's a good receiver. He didn't belong on waivers, and I saw that right away. I picked him up. In fact, if I realized I got him, I didn't think I was going to get. So, all these players that you see picked up for $12, $15, $27, I usually throw a $3 bid on just in case nobody goes to pick him up, and that's how I got Greg Olsen.
Yeah, I do that too.
I just in case, because I'll be like, wow, I just got him for next to nothing, and that's going to be half of my starting roster. I'm starting Marvin Jones. I'm starting Greg Olsen. I'm starting Greg Zuerlein. I've got basically 3 starters for under $7. That's just value right there, and I still have more waiver budget than everyone else in the league.
Right. I mean, I would have picked up Olsen if I wouldn't be kittling all over you right now.
Yeah, Kittle is going nuts on me. I'm down 16.8 to nothing because of Greg Kittle only. That's going to be rough. It's going to be a hard comeback for me.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Fortunately, I don't have anybody but David Johnson on bye that I would have even considered starting, so at least I can play my full roster against
Yeah,
you.
and I was in the same boat.
Yeah.
I had one guy who was on bye, and I can't remember who it is. We should probably talk about this in matchups, but no, I lied. I have the Cardinals on bye, which means nothing to me.
But yeah, I would have started, and it's funny because if I actually realized I got Jones when I did, because I got him on Sunday morning, right? I just threw that bid out there whatever, I won't get him, not a big deal. I started Jordy. If I saw that I got Jones, I probably would have switched him out with Jordy and won that week.
Well, you know, it is easier to get guys on Sunday morning because a lot of times people overlook the guys who got dropped on Thursday.
Absolutely. I did that again this week. Like I'll go ahead and spoil it. Why not? I made a waiver claim.
It's
Yeah, fuck
Thursday.
it. I'm going to illustrate. I'm going to illustrate what I'm talking about. Geronimo Allison got dropped by Luke. Just dropped. I am going to put a bid in on Geronimo Allison for a couple of bucks. And if nobody picks him up, I'm going to be fucking ecstatic that I just picked up one of the best wideouts.
You're
on the
doing
back
this
of the
on
roster.
purpose because now he's going to go for 25 and you're just going to laugh.
No, I'm not. Hey, I'm not going to tell you how much I bid on him. It may be more than just a few bucks, but my point.
Maybe see you're trying to drive up the bid. It may be more than a few bucks.
Hey, my point is, I'm giving it away. I'm giving away my strategy. Geronimo Allison doesn't belong on waivers. I offered Luke a trade for Geronimo Allison that he declined to turn around and drop him. I don't understand.
Hey, I don't understand. Hey, Travis was offering trades for Jameis Winston for the last 4 weeks, and he just turned around and dropped him too. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that's the other way around. You know what I mean? I was
Yes, it's
actively
definitely the
trying
other way
to
around.
get the guy that Luke ultimately didn't want.
yeah. All right. Well, speaking of waivers, let's just quick gloss over this. Jason picked up Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Fitz Magic for $25. Luke picked up DJ Moore, Carolina wide receiver, for $12. Of course, just throwing more money.
I could just see him in the corner of a room, like shaking back and forth, like, well, what if somebody bids 11? I was going to bid 10, but then someone will bid 11 to beat 10. I need to bid 12. I need DJ Moore.
Yeah,
I dropped
fortunately-
Geronimo Allison. I need DJ Moore.
Fortunately, Justin bid 10 on him, so I guess it was important.
It's DJ Moore.
Yeah, I didn't even think about him. Trenton Cannon went for 9. Derek Carr got added by Chops for $6, which definitely is working out for him. We already talked about that. Cowboys went for 5. Boswell for 2.
Wow.
Raiders for 2, which the Raiders is not working out for
Ooh,
Depre either.
Bad call.
And your auction summary for the week. Travis is still out of money, guys.
Oh, he didn't get any over the
Who
weekend?
Zach's second lowest at 16, and everybody's kind of in the $40-ish range right now, aside from Robert, who's at 72.
Boom. That's how you win waivers. The more you know. Seriously, so here's my question, Pope. How much do you think Marvin Jones would have went for if he was sitting on waivers if he was still there after Golden Tate got traded?
Oh, I mean, I think if he would have been on waivers through that Sunday and made it to the next Thursday after the week he had, I guarantee you he would have went for about $15.
Exactly. You got to try to find that value early. And those kind of playmakers like Marvin Jones, Greg Olsen, those playmakers do not belong on waivers.
They don't.
So that's my point. Now what can you do?
All right, let's get to matchups. We'll run through this one probably pretty quickly because the matchups aren't that juicy this week.
It is a lopsided kind of week. I feel like we didn't have a hard time making picks. Some of them we were just taking some weird shots on, but it seemed pretty easy.
First matchup, we got Kral versus Zach, 1-7 versus 6-2. Is there anything to say about fucking anything but Trubisky?
I mean, I honestly I can't argue now. Like I've been proven wrong. I admit it. Trubisky, even
They're playing
though
Buffalo too.
Even though Trubisky's not, hey, the Patriots struggled against Buffalo early Buffalo's defense isn't terrible. But that being said, Trubisky finds a way to put up garbage time points. Like
Tom Brady picks his shots.
He might not be a great actual quarterback, but as far as fantasy goes,
He's not.
I have to give it to him. And until proven otherwise, I can't justify.
The Bears ain't winning shit with Trubisky. I am calling it right now. For the rest of his career, the Bears are not going to win shit with Trubisky. It's the same thing as Zach's buddy, Rex Grossman.
Oh, man.
I mean, he's got talent. He looks good. He puts up fantasy points. He does things. He's going to fuck up royally when you need it the most. He's just going to throw over a guy's head.
Sure. I mean, I'm not dubbing the Bears the Super Bowl champion, but M-Trubs, Bitch Trubisky, he's gonna put up fantasy points just because of the garbage time activity. Maybe they're losing. Maybe he runs it. He does have a lot of rushing yards. It's just, what can you do?
Yeah. Next week we're gonna have a Mitch Please drop. I guarantee you we're gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Anyways,
figure something out.
we both picked Zach Kral's team. His first 2 picks are gone, as illustrated by a phone call to him. He's gonna lose to everyone he plays, and it's not his fault. These are the kind of bad breaks teams.
No,
get
I mean he
sometimes.
just got fucked. I mean, literally just got fucked.
There was no amount of waiver pickups that could have saved him. He's losing your top 2 running backs when they're your first 2 picks is just too much. So we both took Zach.
Yep, we both took Zach. On to the next matchup. We got Jason versus Luke, 3-5 versus 4-4. Jason's got a new quarterback this week, Ryan Fitzpatrick. And, of course, Luke has Patrick Mahomes, the next Brett Favre.
Yeah, exactly. It's just unbelievable talent. And unbelievable team around him. Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing. You got Andy Reid at the helm, an offensive-minded coach. I don't know what else to say. Mahomes is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. When you look down these two teams, the lineups right now are really pretty. I don't want to say similar, but Luke's got Beckham on bye, Ertz on bye, Jaguars on bye. He's got Michelle hurt. He just picked up DJ Moore. His lineup does not actually look that strong this week. And Jason, on the other hand, has got Fitzpatrick, who, if he continues to be hot, will be a good starting quarterback for him. And he's got, not a super solid lineup, but I think it rivals anything that Luke's got this week. Who do you got?
I have Jason in this one. I like the Fitzpatrick thing in Carolina. I think he should do well there. I was surprised to see you get rid of Tariq Cohen. I think Cohen's going to have a decent game starting out. He might not play the whole game because they might get off to a big lead, and Jordan Howard might be a second half guy. But I mean, I think Keenan Allen could be a big wild card this week. He's been kind of quiet early in the season, but a lot of news coming out of Chargers camp, which I've been paying attention to because I'm a Rivers guy, is they're looking to get Keenan Allen back in the swing of things. And if you look historically, he actually has a big resurgence in the second half of the year, almost every year of his career. So that put together, plus I think Rudolph the Red Zone Reindeer actually finds himself a touchdown this week against, who's he playing, Detroit? So
Yeah, I believe so.
I think that all stacked up, and the fact that he just beat me last week, is a painful reminder that his team's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jason.
Yeah, and I don't know what Jason's doing here because, I mean, we did make that Tariq Cohen, Tyler Lockett trade for Kareem Hunt. And the perk of him getting Cohen is he is a decent downgrade from Hunt, but he was gaining a wide receiver he could start every week, and he hasn't played Lockett yet. And he's got Kupp in his lineup, who hasn't played for 2 weeks, and Peyton Barber, Peyton Barber's been doing all right, but Tyler Lockett's the 13th ranked wide receiver, and he's putting up 10 points a week every week.
Yeah, I don't understand that one either. I get the Cooper Kupp thing because when Kupp's on the field, he has the ability to have those gigantic games. Jared Goff likes his slot quarterback, and Cooper Kupp's really been that guy. But I don't get the Peyton Barber thing. Lockett should be in his flex.
Kupp's a possession guy. I mean, he gets Lockett is more touchdown dependent, but Kupp he catches a lot more passes. He just doesn't always have the yardage to go with it.
Yeah. With the Lockett thing, though, it's getting back to my, Curry making half-court shots, Rodgers making Hail Marys. Like, you're pretty much expecting a touchdown from Lockett now. And I get that I have a pending bet against Lockett, but,
yeah,
I mean, it's been
Lockett
consistent.
scored a touchdown in every week except week 4.
Right. So, I don't know. I guess I don't get the Peyton Barber thing, but Barber hasn't been terrible either in the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, I guess it's user's choice. What can you do? It's not PPR, so it's just yardage and touchdowns.
Yeah. You took Jason there, and I took Luke, so we differed on that one. All right. Next matchup. Drum roll. I wish we had a drum roll. Do you have a that'll work. That sounds like a helicopter.
What do you want from me? I'm going to go get my snare drum?
Matchup of the week: you versus me. I'm 4-4. You're 5-3. And since neither of us can pick this game, I think we should start a new tradition. Whenever we play each other, we're automatically
Board bet.
Oh, of course, a board bet. But we're automatically obligated to pick the other team to win.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to fuck with
Just
it.
so not to curse ourselves?
Yeah, we're automatically, you got to pick me and I got to pick you. And that's
Sweet.
the only time we're ever going to vote for each other.
You know what?
For,
I like
for
that.
matchups.
I like that because you're going to win. The Kittle thing is a clear sign that you're probably taking this one home. 15 points out of your tight end already? That's a lot.
I mean, I'll take a real fantasy win versus a board, or not a board bet, but I'll pick them loss any day.
Yeah. Realistically, I think we're both going to be 5-4 after this one. I like my team. Don't get me wrong, but I really like your team. I made this point before. I think you got the best team in the league since you picked up Kareem Hunt. It's no secret. You have nothing but home run hitters, and they've all been on the money. And you got, Hopkins without Will Fuller now. Fuller's on IR. I get that they got Thomas in, but that's going to take time. And he's not going to be a primary target. I just see Hopkins getting so much more work and having just every position be locked down, especially with the Kittle thing, the way he's been playing. It's fantastic. You did a great job of making up for the deficiencies we made fun of you for because you didn't take running backs. We're like, how the hell did you not draft a running back till Cohen? And then, look at you now. It's fantastic. So good work.
Well, thank you. And you did the opposite, and you went and got running backs and hung back on wide receivers. And I think Thielen was your highest drafted wide receiver, and you got him in, round 3?
Yeah, I was big on Thielen. I had to have him. I really wanted him.
And he's paying dividends for you and Robert Woods. This is kind of a make-or-break matchup, even though I have a lot of points scored for me. I have by far the most points scored against me this year, and you've been scoring a decent amount of points this year. I don't think that's going to change this week. But if I go 4-5, I'm kind of in a bad situation. So I need a win this week pretty bad. If you get a win this week, I mean, punch that ticket. You're in the playoffs.
Right. This is going to be an interesting one, and I don't actually hate my matchups. My players actually have some good-looking matchups where I could have one of those weeks where I sneak a win out. Problem is, you have decent matchups too, so I'm going to need low production from you, or maybe middle of the road and high production from mine. But it's going to be interesting. I think this might be our marquee matchup of the week, and not just because it's me and you, but just because of how close this could end up being.
Oh yeah. And don't sleep on the Patriots and Packers game, even though it's two teams that have defenses that aren't good, playing two of the best quarterbacks in the league. Games of this sort tend to end up being ugly.
Yeah, and they get weird, and it's the strangest plays, the weirdest scores, the dumbest things that end up being the reason a team wins.
So I'm not holding my breath on Rodgers having a big week this week. I'll be 100% honest with that one.
That's because Aaron Jones is free, baby. Montgomery's gone. It's time.
Yeah, and carry on Johnson.
Carry on my wayward son.
Just
that
because
goes without saying.
Just because people have been bitching that we haven't been doing that drop.
Oh my God, it's a beautiful world. You guys remember, our dedicated podcast listening fans remember, I was standing on the rooftops just begging for Aaron Jones and Kerryon Johnson
Carry on my wayward son.
to be set free and get the run that they deserve. And lo and behold, that day has come. Those are my two starting running backs. It's a beautiful thing to see players that deserve it getting it.
Finally got your chance.
Finally.
All right, so we're picking each other in this game. The only time of the year that we'll ever pick a matchup between the two of us. And let's...
Looks like I'm swishing to Bush.
Oh, you ran out of... I mean, we can take a break.
Nah, you're good. Keep
All
going.
right. On to the next matchup. It's Ed versus Ryan. Ed's 8-0. Ryan's 4-4. We don't even really have to go over this one because you vowed to never pick Ryan in a week, and I vowed to not stop
Yeah,
picking Ed until
we're
Ed
double
loses.
vowed on this one because we both said like we're picking Ed till he loses, and I said I'm not picking Ryan anymore. By the way, Ryan, thanks for losing last week. That really helps me out.
Yeah, so we're gonna gloss over that one. We both picked Ed.
Yeah, there's
Nothing
really
to talk
no
about
need
there.
to talk. There's no need to talk about matchups. Ed's team is a freaking freight train.
a
It's
juggernaut.
unreal.
All right, next matchup we got Andrew versus Steve. 2, 3, and 5 teams, both in second place in their division. Both need a win desperately.
I like this matchup. This is another close one.
This is a fun matchup. This is the one I think both of us had the hardest time picking. Did we not?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the reason I gave us the marquee matchup versus this is because they both have losing records. So it's more of a poop fecta
They're
than
losers.
like people that are trying to make a run at
Mhm.
championships here. No offense, Joby and Steve, you're gonna lose. But
Well, I mean, they can't both lose.
well, I mean they can eventually. You're
Right.
both gonna lose.
And they're both on losing streaks, so they both need wins. Joby's on a 3-game losing streak, and Steve's on a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to look at the sheet over there. Yeah, I got Steve in this one. It's really just I really like Melvin Gordon. As far as talent goes in production this year, I think he's been like the second best running back just from the eye test, not necessarily from fantasy points. And I think Amari Cooper might surprise people in Dallas. They need a wide receiver, like someone who actually has talent. To fill
I don't
that.
think Amari Cooper has talent.
I don't think he's terrible. I think Derek Carr is really bad.
Yeah, and I think Dak Prescott's really bad too. So
That's true. But if you had to pick at gunpoint, Prescott or Carr, who's your starting quarterback?
David Carr.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got like 1 point right now. He's getting crushed by the 49ers
He's white.
with their third string quarterback. I'm just saying. Give me Prescott on that one. But
Hey, let's take a side note here. Robert put in a daily fantasy lineup, and in this daily fantasy lineup, you picked just players from this game,
yeah, just the Thursday night football. I played daily fantasy.
and you had to pick your MVP. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's the captain. So you pick a captain for your team, and he gets 1.5 times the points, and then you pick nothing but flex players. It can be anybody. The defense, the kicker, wide receivers, running backs, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So your captain was CJ Beathard.
CJ Beathard, Beathard, who didn't even actually
Yeah,
take the field.
and you got beat really hard.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna check. I'm not. I mean,
I
for all
wouldn't
I
look
know,
at
the
that.
rest of my players went berserk, and I still did okay. It's one of those 50-50 games where there's 1,000 people playing, and as long as you score in the top 500, you double up. And I'm not even gonna check it.
Yeah, I don't think it.
Getting 0 points out of my captain, I'm not even gonna look at it. I don't even.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't want to know.
what about the guys who got Kittle as their captain? They're just destroying you.
Exactly. I guarantee I lost. Fortunately, I only put $2 on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I picked Andrew in that game. You picked Steve. I picked Andrew just because, I mean, I looked at both teams. I really don't see a winner, and Robert picked Steve, and so then I wanted to pick the opposite.
We dared to be different.
We did. Last matchup, Travis versus Justin. Travis is 4-4, first in his division. Justin's 3-5, one of the other 400 3-5 teams in this league. Justin, we both wanted to pick Justin. We hate picking Travis. We don't like what Travis does. We never like what Travis does with his stuff. But Justin's got Barkley on bye. He's got Demaryius Thomas with a brand new team. He's got Will Fuller put on IR now. His team just does not look good for this week.
Yeah, rough stuff. I'm taking Lil Travie. I'm taking Travis. Newton's finally in that starting lineup, the 6th best quarterback in fantasy, as far as I'm concerned, or better.
6th best.
And I don't know what he's ranked right now. Maybe he made. Did he crack it yet?
Ranked 3.
Oh
shit.
yeah.
And he's been on bye for a week too.
He's already passed his bye week, and he's the 3rd best quarterback. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's not good for me.
Look at those scores. He is a beast. This is what I expected, and that's why I wanted him so bad.
And remember, he's on the guy's team who just played Jameis Winston for 3 weeks. For
hey.
3 weeks and left the third-ranked quarterback who's already had his bye on his bench.
It was one of the most painful things for me to watch. Cam sitting on somebody's bench. That was the most frustrating part of my draft this year, was when Cam got taken just before me. It hurt. It hurt my feelings, so I waited for Rivers, which didn't hurt me too much, but man, did I want Cam. I'm going to get him. I'm going to figure it out. But, yeah, give me Travis. You know, the matchups just look good for him. He's got a decent team, you know, despite himself. And, yeah, you know, the Boyd thing was a big difference maker for him. Picking up Boyd, like all those big expenditures on waivers that we gave him shit for, you know, Boyd was one of those, and that was the one that hit. He turns out to be very useful for the Bengals.
Definitely. All right, well, that's our matchups for this week. I forgot to mention, we both went 3-2 last week. We figured out our scoring problem. I am 22-18 on the season. Robert's 23-17. So
still got that lead, buddy.
We're very close. And the determining one might just be our matchup this week.
I was going to say we're probably going to separate this week because we have what, three different picks.
Yeah, 3 different picks.
So here we go. You know, we'll figure it out. I think I'm going to take a big old commanding lead on you because I get that freebie with you beating me.
Yeah, I suppose. All right. So this is our Halloween edition of the Gentleman Fantasy Podcast, and we can't finish off this podcast without doing a little Halloween-centric family circle.
Yeah, the family circle jerk. I mean, family circle.
So, Sunday we did trick-or-treat, or Sunday, Mishkat had trick-or-treating, okay? And Sunday morning, as we do every week, Nicole likes going to church. We went to church.
Ew.
And Vince has been having a bit of a disciplinary problem. Now, Robert was here tonight. He witnessed it firsthand. Vince just has an absolute fucking meltdown when you tell him to do anything he doesn't want to do.
I would have beat that boy so damn hard.
Anyway.
I tell you what, Edith.
So we're in church, and Vince has this epic meltdown. I mean, the whole congregation just hears him melting down. We're sitting in the back row of the church.
Is this a Lutheran church?
This is Lutheran church.
Oh, man, they're the worst, too. They're like, how dare you in the face of God? Or something like that. I don't know anything about Lutheran church.
I mean, they're the same as Catholics, just different.
So, yeah, psychotic. I got it.
Basically. So, at the end of church, the pastor comes up to us, and he's like, blah, blah, I know you guys had a hard time. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You know, everyone's had kids before. It's fine. I was like, okay, fine. So then Vince had another meltdown because he's like, well, he was talking about me, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, like, okay, whatever, Vince.
You got pastor baited on.
Yeah, so we get in the car, and all he could talk about is, I want to go home and get candy. I want to go home and get candy. I want to go trick-or-treating. So Nicole and I looked at each other. We're like, we're making a parental decision.
Nay.
You will not go trick-or-treating this year.
Whoa.
And
cue the atom bomb exploding in Vince's head.
Yeah, he lost it for about a half an hour, okay? Until we hit him with the full punishment.
Uh-oh.
Okay? We said, all right, you're not going trick-or-treating at all this year. We're not going. We're going to stay home, and you're going to have to hand out the candy to all your friends that are going to come trick-or-treating.
Oh, that is the ultimate form of punishment.
You would think.
Ooh, wait.
However, when trick-or-treating started and the kids started coming to our house and he started seeing all the other costumes and he got to hand out candy to all the other kids, it was the fucking highlight of his day.
All right, so that could be a good thing. We might see a good part of Vince here.
In other words, the moral of the story is you can try to discipline your children all you want, but sometimes they turn your discipline into the best part of their day. Like, he totally didn't give a shit that he didn't get to go trick-or-treating. When I took him to daycare on Monday, we stopped over by Jill, and she's like, oh, how was your trick-or-treating, Vince? And Vince is like, yeah, I didn't listen at church, so I didn't get to go trick-or-treating. But guess what? I got to hand out candy and I saw all these all these cool costumes, and I handed out candy to all my friends, and it was so much fun.
What a resilient kid.
Yeah. He's just like, I I don't give a fuck. I'll just make the best out of anything.
And it's like the Asians say, when life hands you lemons, make lemon chicken.
Yes. Speaking of Asians, I was back over by the Donger where I did some electrical work. He's got the nail place. Yeah. And
Perfect name. How
So-
appropriate.
I finished up the work there, and they had opened their brand new place. Yeah, it's his name. His name's Dong Dao. I'm not even kidding you.
Oh, man.
So we go over there, and I finished up the work. And as I'm walking out, his wife goes, "Oh, you tell your wife. I give her a 20% discount. You come in. You tell her to come in here. I do her nails. 20% discount." And I was like, "Fuck yes!
Wow.
Now I'm getting a 20% discount, all because I hung out with the Dong."
The glorious man. I can't. There's so like I just have this like big list of ways I could turn this into a pun. I don't even know which one to take. So it's like hanging with the Dong. That's great. This is the second week in a row I think that you've met a Asian person with a funny name. You've had Hang Low and Donger. That's fantastic.
All right, then what do you got this week for your Halloween parent corner / family circle?
As you all may have seen on Facebook, my kids were all supposed to go as zombies. We talked about it. Nicole made these really sweet zombie outfits. Percy looked creepy as hell. It was awesome. But my boys had this weird meltdown when it came to having face paint. Because they looked at it like makeup, and they're like, only girls wear makeup. I don't want to put makeup on. And
Really?
this became a really way bigger issue than I would have expected. I was like, guys, this is going to look awesome. Look how creepy Percy looks. This is perfect. And in the end, we had to make Rob a robot out of boxes, and Ryan would only let Nicole put the blood part on him. Like, we're talking like screaming freaking like panic attack kind of shit about just putting on makeup. And, I was like, well, look at my Halloween picture. I'm wearing makeup because I wore like the face
I was gonna
paint,
say,
right?
did you tell them you wear makeup?
Yeah. And they were just like, they could not get past it.
Yeah, I mean, did you tell them you were Chet in fucking what was that? God damn it! Not Saturday Night Fever. The one with freaking Kevin Bacon in dancing movie.
Oh, freak! Oh my God, what was it called? Didn't we go in a play?
Footloose.
Yeah, all right.
You were Chet in Footloose. I
Yeah.
don't even know if the name is Chet.
No, it was something else. It doesn't matter at all. The point is, I was the bad guy. I'm always
Yes.
the bad guy. And I was here too because I said, well, you know what? If you're not going to do that, then you can just hand out candy. And of course, Nicole being
Dun,
like,
dun, dun.
no, we'll just fix it and make them something else. I'm just like, you just gave them every reason to make a stand moving forward.
That's right.
Because once you let them like figure out how far they have to go to win, like they will die on that hill every time until it gets taller. And now that's how far you have to go.
That's why I put my foot down on Sunday about this candy thing,
On
which
his
totally
face.
worked for me.
Yeah, but I mean, in the end, they went trick or treating. Here's the neat side note, though.
All right.
So they went trick or treating for like an hour and 15 minutes or whatever, and then they wanted to come back. They were hungry, they were tired, they were beat, whatever. So I ordered pizza. They had pizza. They recharged. They warmed up. It was a pretty nice night. We did it on Wednesday, on Halloween, because we're not weird like Michigan Two Rivers people and do it on
Yeah,
Sunday.
I don't understand. No, Two Rivers did it on Halloween. I don't understand why Michigan did it on Sunday.
Yeah, they just dare to be different. Anyways, by the way, where the hell did Michigan Market go?
Oh yeah.
Moving. We'll
They
get
got
to that
rid
in a
of
minute. But yeah, so we did it Wednesday, and it was really nice out. Here's the thing. Nicole's like, hey, there's still an hour left, and we didn't even go that way at all. Does anybody want to go and get another, like, basically bag load of candy? And you would think, if it were me, when I trick-or-treated back in the day, I went hard. I would go until I physically could not carry candy any longer. And both boys were like, no, we're done. Percy was like, yeah. And so Nicole and Percy went, and the boys stayed home. And of course, like retrospect, hindsight's 2020. The boys see Percy with this giant like grocery bag of candy, and they got these little buckets, and they're like, well, Percy has all that candy. It's like, yeah, she went back out.
Yeah. She took the initiative.
Nicole
kids.
was like, The best secret to trick-or-treating is you go right before it ends because everybody just empties the bucket. They're like, well, I don't want to have this giant thing of candy in
Yep.
my house for the rest of the month. Here you go. Take 5, take 6. Percy could barely carry the bag she came back with. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, my boys are wimps. That's the thing there. And Rob might still be a cult leader. He actually had them calling him dad. Like the Jim Jones, you watch the Jim Jones thing. Rob had them calling him dad. They were doing this like play thing where he's the dad and they're the kids or whatever. But it's
Alright.
just like, man, right after I got done saying Rob was literally Jim Jones, he had my 2 kids calling him dad. And I was just like, oh my God, this is like actually happening.
That's fucked up.
How do you prevent it? What do I do? Like just sit him down and be like, hey, don't form your own society of people, please.
Yes. Have your own thoughts and feelings.
Yes, get a girlfriend, for the love of God. Something. I don't know.
Your kids are like 10 and under.
Uh,
What do they need girlfriends for?
Look, you see trends and you get nervous. You try to parent, but whatever. That's as far as I'm going with that. That's my thing for that.
All right. Well, this has been the Gentleman Fantasy Football Podcast. I am Kyle,
I'm Rob.
and everybody have a wonderful week. Happy Halloween.
Woo!
Go on birthday. I like to eat bouillon chow mein. Spicy and hot, sweet and sour vegetables. Make me want to eat more, gobble, gobble, gobble. I like chicken, I like rice, I like fortune cookie, it's so nice. I like shrimp, gonna eat more. When I have to pay, I go out back door. I like to go on buffet. I like to eat bouillon chow mein. Spicy and hot, sweet and sour vegetables. Make me want to eat more, gobble, gobble, gobble. I like chicken, I like rice, I like fortune cookie, it's so nice. I like shrimp, gonna eat more. When I have to pay, I go out back doors.